I'm going to speak in English. You all are quite comfortable in English? But when you ask questions, you can ask me in Telugu. Whenever you wish to ask, in case you wish to. See, we are living in a world of distractions like this. I don't have to tell you more about this. You know what it is. So, I'm sure as students, you all would like to do your studies in a very focused way, without any distraction. You see, focus requires three things. Remember these three A's. Please, you all repeat after me. Attention, awareness, and absorption. So, attention means no distraction. Distraction means alternative attraction. Say, for example, you are sitting in a room and studying with your book, you hear some song, and the song takes your attention away. It's a very familiar song, cinema song, famous song. Then your mind goes there. Then the book is in front of you, but your attention has gone somewhere else. Or you are studying with your book, and out of the window you see some students are playing cricket outside. Then one eye in the book, in the classroom, another eye in the cricket outside. And you feel, oh, that was a very good bowling. Oh, that was a very good batting. Your mind starts giving running commentary. So you won't be able to pay attention like that. For attention, you need two things, your senses and your mind, both. Like eyes are looking at the book, but if my mind is in cricket, I won't get focus. If my ears are hearing a cinema song, that means the mind has gone there. I won't be able to focus. So that's called distraction. So attention means you have to focus on the thing in hand, whatever you wish to do. We call it as a one thing at a time. One thing at a time. For example, say you go for a picnic. Your friend reminds you, hey, next week there is examination. You will say that, why are you thinking about exams now? We are in a picnic now, isn't it? But then the day before exam, he comes to you and says, hey, how nice the picnic was. How nice the mountains were and how nice the rainbow was. You may say that this is not the time to talk about picnic. Now you focus on the book. So, dear friends, you will see in your life that while doing one thing, you think about another thing. And while going for another thing, you're thinking about the old thing. Daytime, you don't study. Night, while lying down, you're worried about studies. And night, you don't sleep well. Daytime, you may be dozing on the table. So how many of you have experience of mixing two things in your life? You have experience. Correct, no? So today, let us see how not to do that and be able to pay a one-pointed attention. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuhunmelitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. First of all, I offer my namaskar to my Guru, by whose enlightenment I learned the Gita and I spread the wisdom of the Gita worldwide. I do my namaskar to him. So he taught how to do these three things. Attention. And what is the second thing I told you? Awareness, absorption. So till now I told you about attention. So why the prayers are there, just like the one prayer I told you now. Like you will see Arjuna and other Pandavas, they offered namaskar to Dronacharya and Bhishma before they began the battle, correct? Isn't it? So they must be victorious. In our life also, anything we do, we begin with an auspicious incantation like this. So the scriptures teach us that when you are doing one thing, give your wholehearted attention to it. Here with rapt attention. Like when we went to learn the Vedic mantras, the Guru will chant the mantra once and we have to repeat it thrice. Hare Om Sham No Mitra Sham Varunah Sham no bhavatvaryamam, sham na indro brihaspatihi, sham no vishnurukramaha, namaste vayoho, tvamevam pratyaksham brahmasi, tvamevam pratyaksham brahma vadishyami, ridam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami, tanma vavatu, tad vaktaram avatu mam, avatu vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now we have never seen this prayer anywhere, but we only learned by hearing it. So attention is very powerful when you hear things, more than seeing with eyes also. So therefore, the Vedic teaching is always done by sound vibration. It's called a Shabda Praman. You hear, like teacher is teaching in the class, if you hear the sound vibration well, yeah, you pay attention to it, it gets registered in your mind. So the shlokas are memorized more by hearing than by seeing. So attention requires one very important thing. Rapt attention requires purity of mind. To the degree the mind is pure, then everything gets registered very fast. Then how can the mind be pure? For that, you should cultivate pure habits. What are the habits? For example, your eating habit. What you eat, certain foods agitate your mind. Certain foods calm your mind. A very little example. Say somebody puts a liquor inside. That, one gets agitated by that. On the other hand, you drink cacao's milk, one glass of milk. It's very calming to mind. If you drink buffalo's milk, it makes your body fat. If you drink cow's milk, it makes your mind alert. Why is it so? Go to the psychology of a calf. If you see the calf, a small newly born calf, within 2 hours it will be jumping here and there. You will see that. But you see a buffalo's child, that takes 2 days to get up. Do you know that? Anybody from village here? Anybody? Yeah, you all will have experience of that. A buffalo's child takes time because, and the buffalo's child cannot recognize the mother also easily. Whereas the cow's child can recognize the mother. It's very alert. Cow's calf is very alert. So when you drink cow's milk, then you also become very alert in your mind. You become very brisk and alert by that. And if you put liquor, then you lose your control. That means whatever you put in the mouth, it goes into your belly. Depending on the nature of that food, your mindset forms. It's not just 1 day or 2 days, day after day, month after month, year after year. What type of food you eat? So one is about the eating habit. Second is sleeping habit. If you're sleeping by 10 o'clock in the night and getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning, this is the optimum sleep for a human being. Because you will see that next rest 18 hours, you can work briskly without getting tired. Like I sleep every day at 9 and get up at 3 a.m. in the morning, 9 to 3. Rest 18 hours, I will never lie down even for 5 minutes also. Because according to scientists, 10 p.m. at night onwards, some pitta and all start secreting in your body. The internal mechanisms, wear and tear, starts getting repaired in your body. But most of the students nowadays are keeping awake till 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock and all, correct, no? So therefore, in the daytime, even if you sleep 10 hours also, you don't feel rested. You feel very tired in the day. So your sleeping habit, so eating habit, sleeping habit. Thirdly, mating habit. Mating means sex life. So there is a prescription in the scriptures that there is a time for academics, then there is a time for sex life. Time for academics means you all are students now. Focus on your studies now. When you become 27, 28, at the age of marriage, then you get married and properly settled. You can beget children and then go to office, earn money and maintain a family. One can do that. But nowadays you find the boys, even at the age of, boys and girls at the age of 12, 13, 14, they begin connection with each other. That distracts you from the studies. Academics is ruined. Therefore, to have purity in mating, one should follow the brahmacharya, which means celibacy. One should not unnecessarily connect with the opposite sex with the desire for enjoying. Although we may talk, boys and girls may talk for academics and career and all, but the moment you connect with an enjoying mentality, your mind is rendered impure. With impure mind, you can't have focus. So, for example, brahmacharya, celibacy, one who follows it, then there is a Meda Nadi which grows. Your Dharana Shakti, Viveka Buddhi, Vichara Shakti. All these things increase by that. And by letting it loose, you lose your control, you lose your ability to manage your mind. So that's the third thing. And the fourth one is defending. I told you about eating, sleeping, mating, and defend. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, and maiton. So defending means unnecessarily we should not trouble other living entities. If somebody troubles you, you can defend yourself, but unnecessarily don't get into others' life and try to trouble them. Like Duryodhana unnecessarily got into Pandava's life and troubled them. Pandavas never troubled anybody. They only defended themselves. You will see that. So in your life also, if you are mild-natured and you are well-behaved, you will not unnecessarily attract enemies. But if you're going to be aggressive, go and become angry on somebody or speak some bad words to somebody, naturally you invite trouble. Imagine you pinch your neighbor and can you keep quiet? They are going to pinch you back. That's how the trouble, we start the trouble. So by doing these four things I told you, purity in eating habits, for example, vegetables, fruits, cereals, spices, milk, sugar, ghee, these are all sattvic items. And there are other items like, for example, mutton, meat, and eggs and other things, which people think that if you eat, you will be very strong. That way, even elephant is a vegetarian, he is very strong. Is it not true? But eating spicy items, very hot items, that makes your mind agitated. Then mind can't be very calm. What type of foods you eat? Similarly, nowadays, packaged foods, they're all in tamaguna foods. They make your mind very dull. They pack it for months together. Keep it in the fridge for months together. So you have to eat fresh food, clean food, pure food, sattvic ahar. Keeps your mind very calm. So it's sleeping also, I told you. Early to bed, early to rise, makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise, it is said. Try this. If you're sleeping at 12, at least try to sleep at 11. Shift it by 1 hour or 2 hours and try it yourself. Similarly, mating, one should treat every woman as a mother except one's own wife. So if you look at every woman as a mother, then one will not unnecessarily connect and putrefy one's mind. So eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Sometimes students form groups and they fight with one another. They become revengeful. They become angry. They make unhealthy comparisons. These things pollute the mind. You can't focus. Imagine I open the book. I think of my enemy. Can I focus on the studies? I cannot. So that's why these four things, if you pay attention, then you have purity of mind. And a pure mind can also have a pure attention. You can focus attention. Second thing I told you is about awareness. What is awareness? Most students, if you ask them, why do you go to college? Because they say, I want to fetch a job. Why do you need a job? Because I want money. Why do you want money? Just eat, drink, and be merry. Or I want to give to parents. So this kind of approach to life is very shallow approach. You should actually delight in studying. You should want to understand the subject. You should meet the teachers and ask questions. Study foreign other books also. And later on, when you go to the job, you should apply your brain intelligence, and then you will get delight in the job, challenge in the job. You will grow in your area. You should not just cram and vomit. Similarly, awareness is that, for example, in our Pune temple, I just went and asked one mason, what are you doing? He said, I am building a wall, he said. Another fellow said, I am building some kind of hall, he said. Third fellow said, I am very fortunate, he said. I am building a temple for God. I am so blessed. So whom do you think has the full awareness? The last one, isn't it? Because he knew that he's building a temple for God. He did it with great feeling. Similarly, those who do activities with awareness, they only can focus. So attention, awareness, and third is absorption. Like a blotting paper, you keep a ink pen on a blotting paper. Like that it absorbs. You can see that, isn't it? Similarly, when you study with focused attention and awareness, then your mind is absorbed in such a manner that even noises cannot distract you. Nobody can distract you. You can sit in a railway station where a lot of noises are there. You can open a book and you will be undistracted when you have that absorption. So let us see more about it today. See, there are many distractions for us in life, as you see here. She's thinking about money making, and she is disturbed with gossiping people around. Mm. This fellow is having a cricket fever. Huh? So this fellow is fed up with somebody talking for blah 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 for a long time. Huh? So these things distract us from our work, because sometimes somebody calls you on phone, half an hour gone. Anybody has experience? Huh? They continuously keep on talking one after another. You waste your time. Or you became disturbed because some friends are talking bad about you. And then when you open the book, you're worried. What are they talking? I want to figure out. I want to prove to them that I am not like what they are thinking. So these kind of things distract you. Or you are in the college now, you are in third year or fourth year, you're worried about your job placement. What kind of companies will come? Will they pay me well? My friend already got placed. I didn't get placed. This kind of anxieties. So anxieties take our mind away, and they are one of the distractions. These are serious distractions. See here? This fellow is feeling hatred. Other fellow is feeling fear. And those boys and girls are distracted by smartphone. And the boys below are watching some porn or something. Prematurely, they are seeing things which are damaging their character. So these are serious distractions. And these are dangerous distractions. Illicit sex, drinking, smoking, drugs, and gambling. So these things can be deadly for students. Eventually, students have killed themselves because of this type of distraction. So all the three are bad, but these are the worst. Look at the students, how they are attentive. See here? Hmm? So anything you wish to do well in life requires such attention. Like pouring oil from one teapot to another teapot. You see? It requires attention. If you're looking elsewhere, you will not be able to pour it effectively. Similarly, welding also. I heard that you all are diploma students who have joined in the second year directly, correct? No? How many of you have done welding before? Some of you? Yeah, you have experience of it. Yeah. Welding, fitting, smithy, and all. So in welding, you need to know how much distance to keep. Otherwise, it will stick. If you take it a little far away, it will not weld at all. It requires attention. This is Arjuna focusing on the eye of the wooden bird, how successfully he hit the eye of the bird. Because when his guru asked him, "What are you seeing? Are you seeing the tree?" He said, "No." "Are you seeing the branches?" He said, "No." "What do you see?" "Except the eye of the bird, I don't see anything else." It's a one pointed focus. Like the lens, you see, if you focus it on the focal point, you can burn a paper. Otherwise, you can't. This paper, even if you put it in the rooftop on a hot sunny day, still you cannot burn it. Whereas here you see with the lens, what is so special about it? Can anybody say? How is it able to burn? Do you have another mic for you? Any of you? How do you think the lens is able to burn a paper at all? What is the secret or mechanism behind it? If you raise the hand, mic will come to you. Anybody? There is one hand up there. Yeah. Yeah.
It converges, sir. It converges.
It converges, yeah. So what does it converge? It takes the diffused sun rays, and then when you put inside it, it focuses all of them at one point, and therefore the heat increases to a peak. Give him an applause. Give him very good. Yeah. It converges everything at one point instead of diffusing it. Outside sun rays are diffused, whereas inside the magnifying glass it is converged. The converging is what I am talking just now, focusing all your attention. Imagine, for example, if there are four bulls pulling a cart on four directions, will the cart go ahead? No. Put all four of them in one direction and they run in the same direction, then it can go fast. Similarly, say I'm sitting in a train, watching through the window, a scenic beauty, but I have kept my laptop in the top. Somebody is climbing up, somebody is going up, then my attention will go there. Oh, he may steal my laptop. I have kept a bag below. Somebody is pulling out the bag, my attention will go there. That means some attention is in the bag, some attention on the laptop, some attention on the scenic beauty, I won't be able to do one thing properly because I have anxiety about other things. Similarly, in your mind also, when mind is diffused with various thoughts, you are not able to focus. So when you talk about focus, getting all the thoughts in one direction, one of the ways we all get distracted is by the eyes, you see, distracted eyes or distracted ears. These two are the most powerful distractors, eyes and the ears. So therefore, in Gita, like Krishna teaches that focus your eyes on the tip of the nose while meditating, he says. So when eyeballs are here, close to the nose, they can't wander and see things around. Before starting meditation, we do that. Look at this classroom, poor teacher has to tolerate the students playing on the mobile. Very common sight. So nowadays, the distraction level in your generation has increased a lot compared to ours. In our college days, we never had a mobile also. We had only landline. But now, ever since the smartphones came, people are going for multiple choices and constantly they are browsing. So extreme distraction. Okay, let us go to the science behind distraction. Very thoroughly, deeply we understand it today. First, to understand this point, the yellow color which you see is the real you, or the spirit, or the soul. And you are given two things. You are given a body, like hardware, and a mind, which is software. So, in the mind, you store your desires, plans, memories, and everything. And the body, you execute the desires. Say, for example, one of you have a desire to play a piano. That's a desire you store in the mind. Then you go to the market and buy a piano and you play it with your body. So you execute that desire with the body. Is it clear to everybody? So you are not the body itself, which you see in the mirror. You are the resident of the body. Just like it's like saying you are not the house, you are the owner of the house. So Atman, which we say is the soul. Try to understand this one point. It will help you a lot in your life. This is the very first knowledge Lord Krishna gave to Arjuna. Arjuna, understand your body is constantly changing from childhood, then boyhood, then youth, then old age. One day the body falls off, but the soul never dies. Like in science, you give the definition of energy. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Energy disappearing in one form, reappears in another form without any loss or gain, correct? In the same manner, soul is spiritual energy. It can never be created. It's never destroyed. It cannot be cut with scissor. It cannot be burned. So you never die. Now you are living in this, like today you all are wearing one dress today. Tomorrow you will wear another dress, correct? Like that, the soul is changing bodies. And while you are in one body, you have a mind and you have a body. And the mind is like a software. All your troubles are in the mind only. They all are stored in your mind. So if you can understand that you are not the trouble, the mind you possess, that is the cause of trouble. And the trouble can be cleared also. We will see how. We will talk about that. Like I have shown you two bands here, you see, yellow band and red band. Yellow band is the soul's innate, pure qualities. All of you sitting here, you all are divine by nature. But covering you is the mind, which is not divine, because the mind is filled with some impurity. Just like a rainwater falls from the sky to the ground. Here it is pure, but after touching the ground, it becomes muddy. Similarly, we all are originally pure. Like God is supremely pure. We are all His children. Naturally, we are also pure. But when we came to this world, we have become covered by an impurity. And that is a red band I have shown you. For example, here you see, he has no control over his eating. How can such a fellow do any job? You see, this fellow, you see, if he is sleeping, no, not taking any initiative, he can't do any good work. And this fellow is never fresh. He's always into drinking. This fellow has to take a break every 15 minutes for smoking. This fellow gets into unnecessary affairs in the office. He's not professional in his work. This fellow quarrels with everybody. He's very argumentative. So in this way, we all face inner battles in our mind. So I have shown you two sides. The white side is the angel side of you, and the red side is the animal side. So our angel side is the soul. Soul is pure, but the animal side is the mind, which carries impurity. Just like in your computer, say for example, you have some virus has got into your computer. You have a virus scanning software, isn't it? You scan it, and then you have virus removing software also. To remove it. Same, a mind also has the virus impurities which can be removed. Now, what are the three viruses in our mind? Lord Krishna talks about it in the Bhagavad Gita. It's not very difficult to understand. Yeah, technically, he uses three words. Trividam narakasyedam dwaram nashanam kama krodha tata lobas tasmat etat trayam tyajet. These are the three impurities he's saying. Lust, anger, and greed makes you lag in life. But I'll put it in more simple terms. What is lust? Lust is the tendency to catch anybody's hands. Ravana wanted to catch Sita's hands, who was another man's wife. He got into trouble. And anger means to beat up somebody. So there are some who derive delight in slapping and beating others. And greed means to loot. Loot that which doesn't belong to you. Like I told you, Duryodhana looted Pandava's property. So to catch, to beat, to loot, these are impurities in the mind. We have these tendencies. How many of you understand this? Is it easy to grasp it? Correct? Yeah. All the movies and other things you see, they're all about this. Somebody is lusty, somebody is angry, somebody is greedy. See, whole Mahabharata is about greedy Duryodhana, getting into trouble, and they are devastated, finished in the battle. Ramayana is about Ravana stealing Sita, and then he dies in the battle. So in this world, these impurities which take our attention away from any job in hand, these are the impurities. But these impurities can be cleansed. Like look at this elephant here. They're mad elephants. Mad elephant can topple a car or kill people also. Then an elephant becomes a very dangerous animal. Similarly, our mind also. If your mind is not purified, it can be like this dangerous elephants. Impure mind. But there are also good elephants. You see here. This elephant is doing drawing of an elephant. This elephant is giving blessings. That elephant is carrying Lord on his back. So you all have seen a trained elephant also, correct? So you want your mind to be like a trained elephant or a mad elephant? Yeah. So if you train your mind, then mind will be in your control. Then you can tell the mind, do this, it will do it. Exams are coming, study now. Then the mind will study. Exams are over, play now. Then you can play. But if you have untrained mind, you tell the mind, study now. Mind will say, no, I'm going to play now. I don't care. I'm getting pension in studies, so I'll go and play now. Mind is not going to. How many of you experience that you order the mind, but mind doesn't listen to you? Anybody's experience? Only few hands have. About 20 hands have. Others, I think they are having full control over the mind. Is it? Yeah. So, mind doesn't listen many times. Like when you all got your smartphone for the first time, you thought smartphone is your servant. But after a year, you will find, I have become servant of smartphone. You will see that many times smartphone distracts you from your academics. You will have that experience. That means the mind is not in our control. It's a mad elephant. So, like Arjuna says, my dear Krishna, the mind is like a wind. Very difficult to control. It's very strong. Vayoriva sudushkaram, he's saying. So here you see that lady is crying and smiling. And this fellow is having 3-4 smartphones. So there are people who get carried away by success and failure, and the mind overtakes them. So here is a very beautiful analogy. If you understand this analogy, very easily you can bring mind under control. Look at this picture here. There are horses which are compared to senses. Your eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and skin. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. Jnanendriyas. These are the senses from where you are getting inputs. For example, look at these 5 fingers. Shrotram, Chakshus, Parshanam, Rasanam, Granam. Eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and skin. From there, you get information to the mind. This is like the mind. Mind gets information from all the five senses. And the mind is compared to the ropes. And then the driver is compared to Viveka Buddhi, intelligence. Viveka Buddhi means you can discriminate what is good for you, what is bad for you, what is right, what is wrong, what is beneficial, what is harmful. You know that, like I told you, liquor is harmful, milk is beneficial. You know, doing agarbatti to God is beneficial. Smoking cigarette is not beneficial. Contaminated smoke. So in this way, you can see. And the passenger of the chariot is the soul, which is you. So the passenger is peaceful if the driver is having control over the horses. But if the passenger is not peaceful, when intelligence is weak and the mind and senses are running in all directions like this, look at this fellow. Is he in control? No control. This is the situation of many modern day people nowadays. Many students, because they don't have strong viveka buddhi, strong spiritual intelligence. They are not able to control the senses and the mind. Mind and senses don't listen to them. Therefore, they have lost the focus. So, to gain the focus, we have to strengthen the driver. Anybody has a clue on how will you make the driver of this chariot strong? Which means, how do you strengthen your spiritual intelligence to subdue the fickle mind and impure senses? Anybody has a clue on that? How do you get the Viveka Buddhi? To know what is right, what is wrong, what is beneficial, what is harmful, what to do now, what to do later, how to prioritize things in life. Yes, there's one hand up behind there. Give the mic to him. Yeah.
By practice.
By practice. So, by what type of practice you can get strong intelligence? What here there is one more hand up.
By engaging in spiritual activities, chanting.
Okay, by doing spiritual activities. Okay, I'm looking for one specific answer. Anybody else? Yeah.
Meditation, Prabhuji.
Meditation, but even for knowing how to meditate, where will you get direction from? Simply closing eyes, you see everything black out. How do you do meditation? Where do you learn? Yeah. Yes, here there's a hand up. Again, speak loudly, please. Yeah.
By controlling our mind.
But how will you control the mind? How will you control? Is it
By
simply
canoeing
by...
things.
Actually, everybody knows they have to control their mind, but they only don't know how.
By canoeing things, what is right, what is wrong.
But how will you know? That's what I was asking. How will you know what is right, what is wrong? How will you know it?
By learning from others.
By learning from others. Can you learn from anybody? See, some of your friends tell you, chalo, we are drinking now. So then you go with them, you flow with them. They are watching some blue films, they are going and drinking. So by learning, you can learn from anybody you want, any Tom, Dick and Harry. Then from whom do you learn then? Anybody? Yeah? By reading books. Which books? Which type of books can give us that knowledge? Yeah? But help. Good habit books, he's saying. He has come very close to answer. Give him one applause. Yeah, see, for doing anything in this world, you need a manual. Say you get a cooker. How many whistles you need? After which you have to stop the cooker. Anybody knows? Is it 5 whistles or 6 whistles? How many whistles? 3 whistles only. So he knows 3. So I am thinking 6. Then if I'm waiting for the 6th whistle, there'll be an explosion. Isn't it? So that he knows it's 3 because he must have seen the manual. For every machine, there is a manual. Like in a scooter, should I put diesel or petrol? How will I know? Look at the manual. Look at the manual. For everything, there's a manual. Similarly, for this world also, there is manual. Like, for example, the Bhagavad Gita or the Bible or Quran, these are all sacred texts. These texts not only talk about God, they also tell you how to live in this world also. what to do, what not to do, what is good for you, what is bad for you, what is beneficial, what is harmful. So we have to take out little time. Many self-help books are also there in the market, but many times they teach you things on their own, cooked up from their own fertile brain. But the sacred texts, like for example, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and these kind of things, sacred texts which come, they carry a lot of values. See, there's a big difference between skills versus values. Skills, somebody may be a good singer, good speaker, good sportsman or something. That's a skill. Whereas character is a totally different thing. Values, character, morals is another field it is. So from the sacred books, you will learn how to. In the Gita, Lord Krishna teaches this. Learn to control your senses like a tortoise, is saying. See, the picture which I have shown you there, these are the 5 types of allurements for your 5 senses. Eyes want to see beautiful forms. Ears want to hear sweet sounds, isn't it? Of course, we say sweet sound, but people want to hear rock music. I'll just show you one video, short video. They have done a scientific research. And what happens when you hear rock music? You can see it yourself.
The film you're about to see has no characters. It is a The film you're about to see has no characters.
Not coming. See, he's putting some rice powder.
If you spare a little of your imagination, it is a film to describe to you the effect of cymatic frequencies on matter.
When he plays very sweet music, it forms patterns. You will see now. That means you will see that the sweet melodious music forms patterns in the rice powder. But if you play rock music, see the effect of rock music now. There is- The 120 decibel. See how the water is twisting. See? You saw that? So most of your body is made up of what? Water. That means when you hear 120 decibel, your body twists like this. That means it causes biological, it creates a disturbance in your biological rhythm. So, therefore, when you talk about each of the senses input, what you take in matters. When you hear melodious music, it calms your mind. When you hear raucous music, it agitates your mind. When you eat sattvic ahar, it calms your mind. When you eat rajasic tamasic ahar, it agitates your mind. Similarly, with your eyes, what you see, you go to your temple, you ring the bell, you bow down to God, pray to Him, then it calms the mind. You go to some ghost movie, watch and come back night when you're sleeping, there'll be a skeleton in the window laughing, like that. So you agitate your mind. That means what you take in through the eyes, through your ears, through the nose, through the mouth, through the skin. Correct, no? Like for example, through the skin is a sex life. Why there is a restriction that boy and girl should not touch? There's a restriction put in the Any sacred life means without marriage, no one has right to touch the opposite sex because a girl belongs to her father. Huh? And father is going to give her in marriage to somebody at a certain age. Huh? So because if you're going to touch, then mind is agitated. Then you will never be able to focus on academics, focus on any duty. And later on, parents don't allow them to marry also. She marries somebody else, he marries somebody else, and they are frustrated all life. On the other hand, you put a self-restraint. Huh? There is a line one has to follow. Lakshman Rekha, I used to say, isn't it? So in this way, that's the tortoise example. Huh? So, like you see, when there is danger, the tortoise withdraws inside. When there is no danger, it brings the head outside. For example, I go to a temple, with my eyes I can see God and I can take part in the kirtans. I can do meditation. I can have good association. Huh? When good things you get, it's like a tortoise opening the head and the legs and everything. Kurmongani vasarvasha, he says. When there is a danger, what he does? Withdraws inside. Huh? So that is the analogy that Krishna gives. In your life also, to harmful places, you withdraw yourself. Where there is nourishing, something is going to nourish you, then you can take advantage. Like you see, you only create your own destiny like this. First, you think about a house, then you make a blueprint for the house, then you actually build the house. Like that, all of you have some desires, which you will eventually give shape. So, decide whether your desires are proper desires. Because the soul actually carries the mind and the body, birth after birth after birth. For every action, there is a reaction. Okay, how to say no to distracting habits? For that, you have to keep uplifting association. So, this point I already have explained in the beginning of the class. How he had a rapt attention. For that, I told you three things: attention, awareness, and absorption. That I already explained to you in the beginning. So here is a very simple point: GIGO principle. Good in, good out. Garbage in, garbage out. That means whatever you take in now, eventually it will come out in your life. So you can take in good things or garbage type of things. The choice is yours. Like you see what kind of books you read, what kind of movies you watch, what kind of music you hear. That's what I was telling you now. You can make or break your life, can make or mar your career. It's in your hands only. Your choices you make. So here is a very simple formula. Starve your bad habits. Okay, how many of you know that some of the habits you got into are bad habits and you want to get rid of it? How many of you know? Good. So at least you are aware of it. So first step is starve your bad habits. Keep away from those environments. Keep away from those people who are spoiling you. Secondly, substitute them with good habits. Correct, no? Like I told you, you are hearing rock music. It is agitating your mind. Hear some melodious classical devotional music. You are eating certain things which are agitating your mind. Now you substitute them by pure eating. Like that. Substitute. Stay away from bad environment and bad association. These are all things you can do. Not impossible. Any habit you want to cultivate, these are the three steps. First step is set milestone. Like a watermelon, you can't eat full watermelon. Slice it. Then you can eat it little by little. Secondly, look for role models in that field. Those who are already having those good habits. And then have a peer association which will encourage you. Third one is equal friends. Those who will, influence you positively. Those with good habits. See, any of you go to any classroom, you will see 10-20% of the people are people with good habits and pious. So you have to choose good friendship from there. And then there are others who are midway, and then there are others who are in the worst direction. So you have to choose good friendships. So feed your mind with good, clean, pure, powerful, and positive inputs. I'm going to tell you a short story now. Please attentively hear the story, and then I'll ask you for the moral. Here you are seeing a mother who saw her boy, her child, not studying properly. Every day evening he will come and go to play. Practically 3-4 hours he would play and go to sleep. And mom would call him and say, "Beta, are you going to study today or not?" He would say, "I'll study," but he'll never study. 3 months passed, and mother was worried about the boy. Then one day, she took him to the garden to teach him a good lesson. She told him, "Can you please pluck out these weeds?" Beta. So the boy plucked out some of the weeds, which were small size, very easily. Then she told him to pluck out bigger weeds. With greater effort, he plucked out. Then there were like bubble trees, thorny bushes. She asked, "Can you pluck out those?" Boy never even made an effort also. He said, "Mom, that is impossible," he said. Then she took him to a mango tree, and they sat under the mango tree. She plucked some fruits and washed and offered and then gave it to the son. They both ate mangoes, and the boy said, "Mom, so nice. Mangoes are so ripe, very delicious." So the mom taught the boy 3 very important lessons. One of the first lessons, she said, the weeds grow on their own. You don't have to cultivate weeds. You all know what is weeds, no? Weeds. Whereas the mango tree doesn't come on its own. You have to grow it. You have to put the mango seed, water it, fence it, protect it and all that. Then it comes. Whereas weeds come on their own. Same manner, bad habits come on their own. But good habits have to be cultivated. That's the first lesson she taught. How many of you agree? Correct? Yeah. Bad habits, how they come, you don't even know. To become lazy, is it necessary for someone to teach it? Easily you become lazy. One day the college is half a day, you go to room and then you go to sleep for 4 hours. Easily bad habits come. But good habits have to be cultivated. Like for example, if you have to study well, attentively, you need to cultivate that habit. It doesn't come on its own. Secondly, the mother said, the weeds have to be removed at an early stage. Because at a later stage, they become like big bubble trees. They'll be very difficult to remove if you don't uproot them at the early stage. That's another lesson she taught. Thirdly, she said, like the mango tree, which is benefiting. She said, although it takes time and trouble to cultivate it and protect it from the goats and other things, when the mangoes come, you can reap the fruit. Similarly, good habits right now may be painful, but later on you will reap great fruits. So in this way, all these things require some self-restraint. That's what I told you. Feed your mind with good, clean, pure, powerful, and positive inputs. So you can do that. So I told you 3 lessons from this story. Anybody remembers? Anybody? Because they're very important story. Anybody? You raise a hand, Mike will come to you. There's no hand up. Out of 3, 1 lesson, just 1 lesson, what you learned from this story. Just now I told you.
So the first lesson is bad habits or bad things don't need to be cultivated.
They come on their own. Very good. Give them an applause, all of you. Very good. Only 1 lesson. Yeah. Thank you. Second, someone else can say the second lesson.
Good things cannot be done easily. It requires our efforts.
Very good. Yeah, one more.
After getting good things, we can aware about another. We will improve our goodness.
Yes.
Later, we will the good.
Yeah. All that you said is correct. One additional point you said was, in cultivating good habits, initially there is a little bit of difficulty. Because, many friends be going in the wrong direction. And they are pulling you that side. But still, for you to walk the right path, it requires some effort. But if you put the effort, the rewards will be great later. Very good. Give him an applause. Very good. Yeah, thank you. Another thing is said here, fence your mind from bad, unclean, impure, weakening, and negative inputs. This is another thing you have to be very watchful. Otherwise, you all know the story of that in a crocodile and monkey They became friends. So the crocodile asked the monkey, "How is your life in the tree?" Monkey said, "Not so great. It's a jamun tree. I am just living here. My parents have gone out today and life is not so interesting. It's boring," he said. And he asked the crocodile, "How is your life?" He said, "Oh, I wander in the lake and I see the blue sky. I see the green mountain. And, I am quite free to move about wherever I want. Life is great fun for me," he said. Then the monkey said, "Can you take me with you?" Then he sat on the back of the crocodile. But then when he went in the middle of the lake, monkey realized, "My Lord, water everywhere all around." He got frightened. He said, "Can you take me back?" Crocodile said, "I am taking you to my wife who is going to cook your kaleja, heart. Huh? Because you eat jamun every day. The berry. What berry? Blackberries. Huh? So therefore, my wife is going to cook your heart today. That's why she asked me to bring you." And the poor monkey prayed to God, "Please give me some intelligence, how I can save my life now." And then he got the good intelligence. He said, "My heart is hanging in the tree. Take me back. I'll give you my heart," he said. Then the foolish crocodile took him back, and then immediately monkey jumped to the tree and said, "You foolish crocodile, I'll never make friendship with you. Get lost from here." From that day on, he never made friendship with crocodile. Because crocodile is a creature of water. Monkey is a creature of land. So, like we say, birds of the same feather, anybody knows? Flock together. Huh? Like parrots fly with parrots. Dogs live with dogs. Similarly, if you want to be a good person, you have to live with good persons. If you make such friendship, then only you can cultivate good habits. That's why you should fence yourself from bad and unclean and impure and weakening and inputs. Like here you see, if you take a easy life of sitting on social media all the time, watching porn and sleeping lazily, then the future is very bleak for you. There is depression and self-hatred and anxiety and all. Similarly, if somebody is taking out time to exercise and reading and not watching blue films and all that, then your future is very bright for you. Self-respect, control, and happiness. See, which is easy, TV watching or studying? Yeah. But if you're TV watching, then later on study will become like this. Look at this boy. He didn't study at all. Now he is suffering. Snoozing alarm is very easy, but one has to get up. Some friend should be there to wake you up like this. Then we can get up and do something constructive, isn't it? Similarly, junk food anybody can eat and spoil the health, but one should eat for health, healthy foods. Similarly, gossiping wastes a lot of time. So much time gets wasted in gossiping with different people, useless things, rumor mongering and all that. We can cultivate listening habit. If you have a habit of listening, your focus will not be lost. See, in this picture, if you see, this fellow is taking an easy way, easy decision, and he is sleeping very comfortably. But after going here, he is not able to climb up. But look at this fellow, he took a difficult decision in the beginning. Then he jumped to that mountain, he is going towards the flag now. Similarly, if you are ready to make difficult decisions in the beginning, you will be happy later. Is this picture clear to everybody? Yeah. Like TV watching versus reading. So reading is like making a hard decision. Snoozing versus getting up. Like that, all these things. I was exclusively spoken one lecture on this, easy versus hard choices, just a couple of days ago. So I am concluding now, last part. Please remember this formula of A, B, C, D. A for association, good association, which I told you now, good books, movies, music, and friends. And B for Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, these kind of books of wisdom. And see, the crows are sitting in dustbin and eating dead rats and dirty things, whereas the swans live in a clean Manasarovar lake and they drink pure milk. Similarly, people who are compared to Kakajan or a crow class, they derive delight in cinema magazines and dirty magazines. Whereas those who are like Hansajan, those who want to lead a pure life, they read spiritual literature like this. Like you see, I told you in the middle of the class, I told you about lust, anger, greed. These are aggravated by studying dirty literature and getting into dirty habits like these things, cigarette and drug and alcohol and so many things. On the other hand, there are pure literature. This is Swami Prabhupada. 1965, he went to America, where he made the hippies into happies. They were all very degraded at one time, but by giving them the chanting of Hare Krishna, he made them all great souls. He gave up all bad habits. He taught them Gita Bhagavatam. Yeah, the C is for chanting. I can just show you a short video. This is the research from University of Central Florida. Uh, uh,
in literary form. Sound message. Spiritual disciplines recommend meditational practices such as silent meditation, silent recitation of mantras, and also the verbal repetition of specific mantras out loud. A clinical test of the benefits of mantra chanting was performed on 3 groups of 62 subjects, males and females of average age 25. They chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 25 minutes each day under strict clinical supervision. Results showed that regular chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra reduces stress and depression and helps reduce bad habits and addictions. These results formed average age 25. They chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 25 minutes each day under strict clinical supervision. Results showed that regular chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra reduces stress and depression and helps reduce bad habits and addictions. These results formed a PhD thesis at Florida State University.
Like you saw now, the Florida State University research shows that this type of meditation, many students don't know, but if it is done, you will see in every religion. For example, Muslims do namaz 5 times a day. Christians do Hail Mary chanting and Japa beads. Like we also chant in this Japamala. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It's a very, very powerful method of purging the impurities in the mind. And also focusing the mind. In the Vedic times, the kings would send their sons to forest to be with the saintly people, chant like this. Dhruva chanted Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya long before. And then he got a full concentration, good focus. So there is a PhD thesis by David Brian Wolf on this. See, even diseases, mental diseases like schizophrenia, they are cured by this type of meditation and chanting. So, just like you see here, a snake charmer is charming a snake and removing the tooth. Similarly, by this type of chant, your mind can be calmed and impurity can be removed. Yeah. And this is a diet I was telling you, sattvic diet. So, this is ABCD. A for association, B for books like spiritual literature, C for chanting, and D for devotional diet. So, I said many things today, but in summary, I want to make sure that you don't have a memory overflow. So I will next 5 minutes, I'm going to conclude by reminding you of what I spoke. Okay. In the beginning, I was telling you 3-4 examples I gave, if you remember, for getting focus. Anybody remembers? Raise the hand. Some pictures I showed you on the screen. 3-4 pictures. One of the pictures was welding. You remember that? Similarly, I showed 3-4 more examples. Anybody remembers? I showed you one of them. Give the mic to them. Yeah.
Pouring oil in a...
Pouring oil. Very good. Give him an applause. Very good. What's her name? Shashank. Shashank captured one of the examples. Yeah. And then? Any one more? 4 examples I gave, I think. One was welding, one was this pouring oil. There is one behind, yeah. Way behind. What's your name? Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Shashank.
Yeah, Shashank.
Magnifying glass.
Yeah. Which example you remember?
Converging, magnifying glass.
Magnifying glass converging. Good. Very good. Very good. Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. One more. Okay. Welding was one. Magnifying glass converging was one. And then he gave the example of pouring of the oil. One more example for focus I gave. Huh? Yeah.
Arjun's focus.
Arjun's focus. Very good. Concentration. Good. Thank you. So, in order to get such focus, I told you, you need 3 A's. Anybody remembers those 3 A's? A. 3 words I said. There is a hand up there. Give him. Yeah.
Sir, attention, awareness, absorption.
Absorption. Very good. You remembered all the 3. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So, then I was telling you about attention. In attention, what happens? When there is distraction, then you don't get the attention. Anybody remembers one example for distraction I gave? I gave many examples. One example for distraction when you are paying attention to studies. Yes? Yeah, yes? Reading, while reading books, seeing outside, watching some cricket or something. Very good. That was the example I gave. So, similarly, hearing some music or something. So we get distracted. Then how do we get rapt attention? I told you one answer to that. What gives you rapt attention? So 4 things I said in that connection for getting rapt attention. One who can get rapt attention is a person, one who is pure in mind. So who is the person pure in mind? Anybody remembers that? It's a little difficult question, isn't it? One who is pure in mind has 4 pure habits. Let us say, who is going to say that? Anybody? If I give one clue, the other ones you will find out. Okay, one clue I will give you. Yes? Yeah. You have an answer? I can give her the mic. Yeah. Pass it on, yeah. Correct. Yeah. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending.
Defend.
Ahara, Nidra, Baya, and Maithun. Give her an applause. Very good. So, in eating, what I said? In eating, when is your eating considered pure? What type of eating is considered pure? Sattvic, I said, yeah. Sattvic ahar actually calms the mind. Rajasic, tamasic ahar agitates them. Okay. And in sleeping, anybody remembers? Yeah. 10 to 4. 10 to 4 sleeping is ideal sleep. You can try as students. Early morning, you can cram a lot of theorems and everything in the early morning. You can register very easily. The Brahma Muhurta time, early morning was. Okay. And then eating, sleeping, and mating, what I said? Anybody remembers? Sex life. What did I say? You don't remember? You forgot it? 2 things I said in that connection. Any hand is up? Breaking? Treating every woman as a mother other than one's own wife. Matravat paradareshu. Paradara means another man's wife. She was treated as a mother. Which that rule was broken by Ravana, so he was destroyed. Although he was a very great person. Otherwise, he was really great. But he broke this one rule, he was destroyed. Thank you. She captured second answer. Very good. Give her an applause. So, that was one point I said. And I also told all of you that you all are young boys and girls. At this stage, you should live a life of pure character. When the right age comes for marriage, you can marry. There is no need to get into this relationships in this, time of your study. An UK president nowadays has stopped allowing smartphones into the college classrooms. Do you know that? There is a video. You go to the Google search and find out. UK president in the college outside only you have to submit, just like you keep your chapel outside sometimes when you go to temple. Like that, you have to keep your mobile outside the college. They collect all the mobiles. In the evening, they give it back. So, in the same manner, these are all disciplines. In study, if you have to do academics, then in those days, the girls were trained by their mothers and the boys were trained by the guru to lead a life of character. So, life of character will keep your mind pure. Okay, a third one. And then defending. Everybody remembers what I told you about defending. Defending and offending, I said something. Don't unnecessarily get into quarrels, fights with others. So that was one thing I said. Okay, so these 4 things, if you do, then you get rapt attention. And for awareness, I told one little example for awareness. Anybody remembers? 3 masons were building something, right? What was who is considered to be fully aware of what he's doing? Yeah. The one who knew that I'm building a temple for Lord, isn't it? Similarly, when you come to college, you are not just coming to cram and vomit and get a degree and just make money in life. That will not be satisfying to your heart. Later on, when you become an engineer, you are not going to be happy in life. You really have to study the subject, understand it, go deep into it, and put your heart in it. Be fully aware. And also understand that academics is one part of life, but there is also ultimate goal of life. The spirit soul is pure, but in this world we have become covered by mind impurity. You have to again become pure. That's ultimate goal. So be fully aware of the goal of academic life and goal of human life, both. Okay. So these things will keep your life very focused. Okay. After that, what did I say after that? After all these things, then now I remember. I think we went for that chariot of the body. You remember that? There was a driver and the horses and the ropes. Horses represent which one? Senses. And the ropes? Mind. Driver and the passenger? Yeah. Now you all understood that. So how can the passenger be happy when the chariot is going properly? For that, what you need to do? You have to strengthen the driver. Driver is strong. He can pull the ropes and control the horses. Otherwise, horses will run in different directions. So how do you strengthen the driver intelligence? How do you do that? Yes? Yeah, who said that? Give the mic to him. I think there one boy said manual. Who is that? Here he said, which is the manual for human life? Yes. The spiritual literature. That will give you enlightenment. Then you strengthen your intelligence. Prior to that, I told you one more thing. I showed you yellow band and red band. Do you remember that? Yellow band represented which one? Yeah? Yellow band represents the soul, that is you. And the red band outside represents mind, which is impure. So you remember the example of the rainwater I told you? Rainwater is pure in the sky, but touching the ground, it becomes muddy. Similarly, when we all came to this world, as children of God, we are all pure. But in this world, we are covered by the mind. And what are the impurities I told you that are in the mind? Anybody remembers? Impurities. 3 impurities I told you. Yeah. Please give the mic to him. One of them said the answer here. Who is that? Yeah, lust, anger, and greed. Give an applause. Lust, anger, and greed. Yeah. So I told the same 3 in a different language with the 3 other words. Anybody remembers that? Lust means what I said? Yes, give the mic to him. There is one hand. Yeah.
Kam, Krodh, Lobh.
That is, of course, that's in Sanskrit. But these are very big words. Students find it difficult to grasp. This kama, krodha, lobha. I told some 3 equivalents of this. Anybody remembers that?
Touch.
To catch.
Catch.
Yeah.
Another one is touch.
Anger means to beat.
Beat.
And greed means?
Touch.
Not to loot.
Loot.
Yeah. To catch, to beat, to loot. These are the impure tendencies. Give an applause. So, like I told Ravana for catching and Duryodhana for looting, correct? Huh? So we have a tendency to put our hand in others' pocket, or catch anybody in this world we want to enjoy, or beat up anybody. So these impure tendencies are in the mind covering the soul. But the mind can be purified. How can the mind be purified? I told you the virus example right now. Computer has a virus, but you can cleanse the virus by virus scanning and virus removal software. So how do you think the mind can be cleansed? See, intelligence can be strengthened by studying Bhagavad Gita, you said. My mind can be cleansed by chanting. By chanting, like I told you about meditation, every religion prescribes chanting. Like Buddhists, they chant Namo Abhida Butsu, they chant. Jains, they chant Navakar Mantra. Similarly, you can ask any religious person, they all have this method of Nama Japam. Japam, repeated recitation of God's name, you get the inner strength and cleanse the mind. And mind is just like my specs now. If it is very dirty, dusty, I can't see all of you. When it is cleansed, then I can see you. Similarly, when mind is cleansed, then focus comes very easily. One-pointed focus. So cleanse the mind by chanting and strengthen the intelligence by studying Bhagavad Gita. These two things are very easy. So, and then in conclusion, I was telling you ABCD formula, right? A for association. Like this type of program where you get to hear something value addition to your life. A for association. B for Bhagavad Gita. C for chanting. D for, yeah. So these are very, have a copy of the Bhagavad Gita. Read one page a day. Have a japamala. Just chant 108 times a day. One round a day. Whatever food you eat, thank God first and then put in your mouth. Because other than God, no one can give you food. He is the one who supplies everything, grains, fruits, cereals, spices, everything. And also, look, this kind of programs, now I want to thank your college authorities for giving us an opportunity. Because this type of noble thoughts should be time to time revisited. Very important. So that there can be true peace and happiness in this world. And also true direction to your goal of life. So, and then in between, I told you the story of the mother and the son who was not studying, who was naughty boy. So one of them recollected nice lessons from that. That means bad habits are like weeds. They come on their own. But good habits have to be cultivated. And the weeds should not be allowed to grow bigger and stronger. In the early stage itself, you should remove the bad habits. And the good habits, if you take trouble to cultivate, the fruits and the rewards will be very great over a period of time. Like we say, Rome was not built in a day. It takes time to cultivate good habits. But once you do, the rewards will be very great for you in future. So thank you. You recollected practically all the points. Thank you very much. See, this is my email address. If any of you have any queries, you can write to me. That is my YouTube channel. Anything you want, say you want on the topic of focus, you just go to the search and put Radheshyamdas focus, you will get. Or on mind you want to learn, just put Radheshyamdas mind in the YouTube search, you will get it. So I have spoken probably some 200-300 videos for the students, apart from the devotional videos. So you can see them. And you can take a note of this email address if you wish to ask me any further questions. Okay.